Hey everyone, today we're talking about something super important. How we see the world and how others see us. A really smart guy named Edward Said wrote a book called It Was Like a Wake-Up Call. He showed how people in the West sometimes see the East in a weird way, like through a funny mirror. This distorted view comes from old biases and stereotypes from colonial times, but post-colonial writers are fighting back. They're giving us a fresh perspective, one that's based on real-life experiences. Chinua Achebe, an amazing writer, challenged those old colonial stories. His book is a powerful example. It tells the story of colonialism from the point of view of the people who were colonized. It makes us think about the humanity of those who are often seen as different. Another writer, Ngugi wa Thiong'o from Kenya, writes in African languages. He believes language is a way to fight back against cultural dominance. By writing in Gikuyu, his native language, he reclaims his heritage and challenges the idea that only European languages matter in literature. These writers and others like them are so important. They break down stereotypes and tell new stories. They remind us that there's more than one way to see the world. Let's talk about history. History isn't always the whole truth. It's often written by the winners, and the voices of those who lost or were pushed aside aren't always heard. Post-colonial writers are taking back their history. They're telling their own stories in their own words. Chinua Achebe's work is a great example of this. He challenges the old idea of Africa as a wild and uncivilized place. He shows us a more complete picture of pre-colonial African societies with their rich cultures, traditions, and complex ways of life. Ngugi's writing is all about the Kenyan experience. He explores colonialism, cultural identity, and the fight for independence. His books, show us the lives of everyday people living through extraordinary times. These writers make us rethink how we understand the past. They encourage us to question the stories we've always been told. They remind us that history isn't just one story, it's made up of many different perspectives. Post-colonial writers often mix real life with magical elements. It's called magical realism, and it's not just a cool writing trick. It's a powerful way to express the complicated experiences they write about. Salman Rushdie is a master of magical realism. He weaves fantasy into his stories. Books like blur the lines between what's real and what's imagined. This lets him explore themes of identity, history, and post-colonial life in a really unique and interesting way. Magical realism lets these writers break the rules of traditional storytelling. They shake up Western literary styles and create new ways of expressing themselves. Their stories are both fantastical and grounded in the realities of colonialism and what came after. This mix of genres reflects the mixed-up nature of post-colonial experiences. It captures the feeling of living between two worlds, balancing different cultural influences. The impact of post-colonial writers goes way beyond just books. They've started important conversations about race, identity, and power. They've given a voice to people who haven't always been heard. These writers challenge us to look at our own biases. They encourage us to listen to and learn from those who have been silenced for too long. Their work shows how important it is to have different voices in literature and in life. By sharing the stories of those on the margins, they help create a world that's more fair and inclusive for everyone. They inspire us to build a world where everyone's story matters. Their legacy reminds us that literature can change how we think and feel. Through the power of stories, we can break down harmful stereotypes and understand each other better. Post-colonial writers are leading the way, showing us the amazing things that can happen when we hear from different perspectives.